One, two, one, two. Peace. See. Get my one, two, one, two. Self going here. All right. Can you all hear me? Mic check. Mic check. If you can hear me, can you give me a one? Let me see. Let me get my. Okay, good, good. Peace. Peace, Shauna. Peace, Brianna. Peace, that crazy. Peace, Divine. Peace, Trevon. Peace, Donna. Peace, Golden Timeline. Peace, Poetic. Right. Hope y'all are having a positive day. Oh, let me get my camera on, I guess. There we go. We'll try to do a little quick conversation before I have to leave out. Um, as an astrologer, I fall short a lot of times with just keeping up with transits. And what happens is I feel things, and then that ends up sending me to grab my ephemeris or pull my clock up and see what's going on because I feel this. I feel prime example. Yesterday, just this week in general, just this year, just being enthralled in the day-to-day stuff of life and um things going on with the computer. Excuse me, even the computer at Walmart trying to go and do something. And I'm like, damn, this feels like retrograde, Mercury retrograde energy, but I know it's not. And then I had to be reminded went and grabbed my ephemeris like I lost track. Like Mercury is opposing Neptune, which acts a lot like retrograde, you know? And um the sun opposing Neptune, you know, and just my moon, where my moon is in my chart, you know, I think it's my moon that drives me to go sometimes and catch up on transits. That's why I can't do all these a lot of astrologers online, they be like 2 weeks in advance, 3 weeks, like here's what to expect from the upcoming, I can't do the headline news, uh type of thing. Um and I don't know what everybody's got their own stuff they got going in their life, but um mine is very much boots to the ground. So but yeah, I think it is. I feel these changes, and then that drives me to go and look, and then I see all these. I'm reminded of all of the traffic in the air right now. Uh, right now we have Mercury in a trine with retrograde Pluto and retrograde Uranus. So this is there's a heaviness. Not only is it literally humid here in Texas right now, but there's an energetic heaviness that continues to persist. And although Mercury is in a trine with these two outer planets, it's not like it's a stroll in the park. It is a pressing down on the mind to want to consider things of greater depth, and for the mind to naturally, at the same time, to be zoning out of the immediate parameters. Mercury trining Pluto and Uranus. Um, and I'm just freestyling right now. But and I don't have any notes. So I'm pulling stuff from just out of my memory. I like to have me a little some trigger notes when I get on the camera. But there's a lot going on. There is I would never put this in a title because you know how the world is. It's overdone. The whole thing with Sean Combs. And I would never dedicate a video to that, but I will say this to give some clarity as to how I see the metaphysical nature of this. He's a Scorpio sun, and he the timing of this stuff around him is what I think is noteworthy. It happens right before the autumnal equinox, which we just had the other day, which I wanted to do a video on that. You see, that shit came and passed. Um, and I will say this, everybody making this big brouhaha about this as if we don't know that the whole world we live in is based on the stuff that is being attributed to that one character. And see, that's the key. That's the key. Everybody know that dude is what he is. Been known that. But the metaphysical, the occult nature behind this though is you got to go back and consider the book The Devil. Where is it? Hold on, let me grab this. It brings to mind these two books. This is The Devil by Jeffrey Burton Russell. Perceptions of Evil from Antiquity to Primitive Christianity. This one was by Elaine Pagels. This is The Origin of Satan. Um, and it's been years since I've even looked in these books, but the basic idea behind them is there's a need to have a scapegoat. There's a close association between the anthropomorphized Christ and the anthropomorphized devil. From a religious standpoint, you cast all evil deeds need to have a place where they are cast, and that would be the devil. This is, or Satan. This is the author of all evil. Everything that we can think of bad, that old devil. Now, the figure of Christ becomes very similar to the devil. Very, that's why Revelations, the morning star, there's a correlation between Lucifer and Christ because Lucifer is what? The light bearer. All right. So the whole thing at the first of the month where Christians go and do the Eucharist, also called communion, take, eat, this is my body, drink, this is my blood, which that's cannibalism and necromancy, but we won't even touch that. But just the idea that this figure, by its meeting its demise, would then bear the burden of all the evil that is associated with the devil. So these two are interconnected. Okay. They need each other based on the religiosity of it. Okay. Now, here's the thing about in the story, which we know is astrotheological, you know, um, bearing the cross, okay, in the story, the Last Supper, all these things, you know, the being humiliated, they're all talking about the fall of the sun. When the sun gets past the summer solstice, it starts to fall. And as it approaches the autumnal equinox, then the fall intensifies. Okay. Now, who is the character who is key in sealing the deal of the sun falling? It is Judas. Now, Judas represents what astrologically? Scorpio. See, the Christ figure cannot complete the journey if the betrayal does not happen. And all of this culminates around the autumnal equinox, which then leads us into Libra, the balancing of the scales, which then leads us down further into Scorpio, where the sun has officially died. Libra introduces fall, Scorpio concretes by saying, yeah, it's official. All the beauty of summer and spring, all that shit, it's a wrap. You know, that we are now into the stagnant waters, Scorpio season. The sun has died. Now you take these motifs and you see these all being melded into one with the whole ditty, the timing of it. Now, let me clarify this, because like I say, people struggle with blending concepts. Jamal is not saying that the things associated, that these are not evil. He's not supporting this character. I don't give a shit, because it ain't gonna help pay my mortgage either way. Okay? Ain't gonna put no gas in the truck. Ain't gonna feed my children. I don't give a damn. We're only talking about this from the metaphysical, esoteric, occult perspective, as in the symbolism that may be implied. Okay? You have to say this shit. Um, but what I'm saying is the timing of this. And then you see how they are characterizing with the dark face. And if anybody was around when OJ Simpson, when that came down, and you see the cover on Time with OJ where they darken his face, and what you see being melded here is a Christ ritual and a scapegoat ritual, all being melded into one. Meaning, we need to create one public enemy that all sins. See, this is what Christ does with the crucifixion, bears all of the sins. So we create, this person is going to bear all of the sins. At the same time, this person will be the representative of evil. And then what it does is it helps you understand what I was really talking about with these videos about melanin and this. And I always made it clear. Excuse me. Don't get caught up in the, oh, my melanin's popping. You got to really understand what it is. It is something that is not good or bad. It is a force, and it will be used by whomever is more astute at understanding and utilizing this force. And so melanin is associated with the bee. Individually, bees are considered to be idiots, but collectively, they have an intelligence and they have a perfect order, which is why they build in hexagonal structures, perfect six-pointed structures. Okay. What does that tell you about melanin? That there's something about it where when one of us is in the spotlight and wins or loses, we tend naturally to have some type of feeling of association with that win or loss. Etymologically, melanin from melos, meaning honey produced by the bee. That's part of that's the linguistic connection. Okay. That there's this thing about when you castigate one, you are actually judging the whole collective. So there are several things that are possibly at play here from that angle. Now we're going to take it to another level. The next level is the possibility that it's all by design to keep running smokescreen. Because here's something that you're not hearing a lot about in the news. At least I hadn't. I heard it through TikTok through a truck driver. And it is the impending um strike that is supposed to happen in the Gulf, at the Gulf of Mexico in Alabama, dealing with the international something dealing with the port and the workers. Okay. Now, they're saying that this port or this system of port operations will, if it goes down, it will affect food supplies at least throughout the East Coast. And this leads us up um divine rights. I know all about that. I appreciate you. I just happened to look over at the comment. I know I didn't just come out of anywhere. I know about the mortgage means dead pledge, and we know. We know. I know that black is a status. I know all of that. So that's that. Thank you though. I'm sure you're trying to help, but that's not where I shouldn't even looked at the comments. What I'm saying is this leads up to the what you call them, the eclipse that's coming on um the second, and I'm gonna share this. Let me share this. Let's see if we can see. Um okay, so here's can y'all see the can y'all see the clock? Okay, y'all should be able to see it by now. Um okay, let's see if we can. So one thing we got going here. All right. Like I said, we got Mercury in a trine with retrograde Pluto. This might be a time where things show up from the past too. You know, things seem to like they've been dug up. But but beyond that, there's so much going on here. We also got the fact that I got to say this, the fact that we have Mars in Cancer, and keyword for Cancer, domestication, nationality, nativity, um, blood, mama, uh, breast milk, i.e., nourishment. Okay. So these are just some words associated. Of course, you got to say the moon, Luna, just some keywords with Cancer. And then you have Mars, which is in fall in Cancer. We've had the fires out in California. Um, we've had all types of um, news of violence. Texas, even Florida. I've heard about this thing now of these threats. You know, in school threats. So so from a national standpoint, there's all types of um uh violent type of energy right now that is in the air. Now, that's a sidebar because I want to get up to uh let's just go up here right quick to what you call them, to the second, because what I said was I said possibly this thing with old boy is to keep um the attention diverted. We're going to walk up to August to October 2nd. October 2nd. And this is, let's move up to the I think that's supposed to be like 6:44 p.m. But I don't know what if that's Greenwich Standard Time. So they're about 6 hours ahead of me. So hold on. I think I missed it. 2:44. Mm, okay, we're gonna try to get right up on the, and of course mine is set for Central Standard Time. Let's see if we can get right on when the thing. So probably 1:44 Central Standard Time. Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah, 1:44, 2:44 Eastern Standard Time. That'll be 11:44 a.m. Pacific Standard, October 2nd. This is the eclipse. And it's a south node eclipse. And here's the thing that is noteworthy. They are squaring shit. They are squaring Mars. And we've got Mercury in the mix. And you know, Mercury commerce. We have Lilith in the mix. Now, Lilith, the way I read Lilith, is that um you got to go back through the mythology. That's how some of these I like to. Hebrew mythology, she's considered to be Adam's. first wife, right? Okay. Adam wants her to be under him in coitus. She says, nah, it ain't gonna happen. She flies off. Da da da. She's labeled a demoness. Um, Now she's also associated with the screech owl. Now, what's significant about the screech owl? Or about an owl, period? Owl is considered to be wise. I got about 30 minutes too. Got 30 minutes. I gotta wrap this up, Jamal. 30 minutes. So, and the owl can spin his head 270 degrees. Okay. You got to think about that too. 270 degrees is when you look at the mythological stories in the Bible, when John is conceived, he's conceived at the summer solstice, he's born on the vernal equinox. Um, the Christ is conceived at the winter solstice, born at I got this shit backwards. Either way, they are born 270 degrees from their point of um, conception. All right. So 270 degrees is also coincides with the 40 weeks of gestation because we add 10 to it. We got 280. 280 divided by 7, that's 40 weeks. So we're talking about something about birth. All right. So there's also hidden in that too about the owl, which would tie to Lilith, something birthing. But what is being birthed is not something that aligns with what we think is within the established order of right now. That's the key with Lilith. Wherever she's at, she is not trying to maintain the status quo. And that's Libra, where she's at right now. And Libra is about the balancing of the scales. Libra has a lot to do with commerce. We always talk about relationship, okay? But Libra is also about exchange because see, that's why we got the scale. I'm gonna put my item that I'm selling on here, and I'm gonna put whatever currency you got. We're gonna see if they balance out. It's an exchange because a relationship is I'm exchanging what I got to offer with what you got to offer. It's commerce. Now, Santos Bonacci, when he was the Santos Bonacci that we all was introduced to, he was the one who explained that in Libra season is when you go to financial war. Aries is for literal war. You start wars like guns um and I promise I'm about to this shit driving. I'm gonna have to change my smoke detectors. I'm starting to hear it now. You go to war with Aries, okay? You go to financial war, Libra season. Where are we at right now? Now, how does this shit all tie in? If some of my people have been we've been talking about, I'm sure you all have heard about this second moon they're talking about, okay? Um there's a lot of things happening and we talking about how the sun is appearing and why is it appearing that way? You know, is the sky we're seeing the actual sky? All these things. What if the financial warfare is to thwart the energy that is cyclically timed to re-emerge? Let's think about all these things we talked about for the last 4 years. You had the Bethlehem star in 2020. That was Jupiter and Saturn conjoined in air, which is something that hadn't happened for like 800 years. Okay. And we've had Neptune and Jupiter conjoin in Pisces, something that hadn't happened for 166 years. We have Pluto return for the United States, something that hadn't happened for 200 um 46, 47 years. We got a lot of things. We had the North Node, Aries, and Uranus conjoin in Taurus last year, something that hadn't happened since the time of Alexander. They call him the Great, Alexander the Terrible. Okay. So we are living in a time where we've had a whole bunch of things that ain't happened in a long time culminate all around when this little time right here. Ding 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 ding. That's a clue. That's several clues, like of the significance, just common sense of the significance of the time and space that we are within right now. Now, I don't know everything, and I don't know all the other little other components, but I know I got enough. I know enough and got enough common sense to know we're in a birth canal. Now, what this baby gonna look like, nobody really knows. We can speculate, but we do know we're in a birth canal, and there's a lot of gamemanship going on, and all this energy is around this eclipse. We also got to keep in mind that look down here, we got a T square because Ceres is involved in this. Okay. And really it's a grand cross because it's so close that we can even add the nodes in. But what we got a grand cross. So we know Ceres is going to deal with food. We know Libra can deal with money, which then can put a strain on relationship. We know Mars over here in Cancer is violence and strife and um misdirected emotional energy, which it can be. It can also be fighting for the people you love too, because Cancer is also your family. And Mars and Cancer is like the mother who can lift up a car to save her little child because she this superhuman strength comes online, you know. So but when we look at how they are configured right now, this could be potentially something that poses difficulty. And I ain't trying to be a gloom and doomologist, but this may be something to really pay attention to, and just make sure you got some basics, you know? Make sure you got you some 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 dry goods, um, some water, because I don't know. They might be pump faking, but astrologically, this looks a little combative. Like if there's a hand at work, then maybe it might be put to work in something that is in a manner that we do not want. Another thing is that Venus, the ruler of Libra, is in her fall slash detriment at the time of this eclipse in Scorpio. So in Taurus, Venus is attentive to what is possessed. The promise of Venus in Taurus is security. So when Venus is in Scorpio, the promise can be threatened. This can also be where our passions overtake us too. Venus in Scorpio. This is you know, because Scorpio pulls out the desire principle. Scorpio can all Venus and Scorpio can also produce a feeling of lack. So who's really being tested? I think, as I always say, the people who are going to be tested the most are those who in this incarnation are here doing their graduate work. Everybody who has a soul is going to is becoming, but at different levels. I think the greatest stress is on those who are doing graduate work, as in they're working on a PhD, metaphorically, in this lifetime. Now, for those who are at kindergarten, yeah, they get upset, but a child, part of being a child is that you get upset about the effects, but you don't really get to the root, as in the cause. PhD level is you become more cause driven. I'm trying to get to the cause here. I'm not trying to be constantly belaboring over effects, which just puts me in a perpetual state of reaction. I want to be able to respond. It's the difference between response and reaction. Response denotes a certain level of capability. Reaction is a threat, an emerging situation, and so the test is on the graduate students. Here's an example. I tell my mother yesterday about how this strike is coming the day before the eclipse, which is, I think, is significant, and I don't think it's by happenstance. I think there's some type of astrological consultation that has gone into this, choosing this date. My mother, 78 years old, she respects. She might not be in all what I do, but she respects what I do and whatever little bit of knowledge I got. We got a family text where some of these people in my family sending all these fucking emojis and I just love my family and good morning, kings and queens, and all this bullshit. And your phone going off 5,000 goddamn times. And went, she's a Virgo. So she went and did her Virgo and she found an article about this, what I told her about. And they said, if certain fruits may such and such be coming up short because of an impending strike, da 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 da, she sends me the article and she puts the article in the family chat. These motherfuckers ain't said Nathan. Now you take all the day talking about I love my family. Hello everyone. All this bullshit. Here's somebody actually demonstrating love. I'm trying to tell you, stupid motherfuckers. You may want to go out and get some beans and some rice. Crickets. Crickets. And that's what I'm talking about. It's people at these like different levels where you can't even force no information on a dummy. You can't. It's you can't. So you have to immobilize your humanity and detach because this is some amazing shit. This is some amazing shit that we live in. These are some amazing times. But for you who have eyes to see and ears to hear, you'll do your due diligence. And then, like I'm saying, this is not no fear mongering, but um, you know, if somebody's swinging a bat at my head and you saw it coming, I want you to be like, you might want to duck, you know? And then if they just faking, then at least I took precautions. Um, but let me see what y'all, but that's the main thing I wanted to what other current events? I also saw something about Kroger came out a month ago about Kroger using these digital prices that will fluctuate themselves using AI and some type of facial recognition that that they can change their prices on their own, like the Dow Jones. So as they see that demand rises, the price goes up as the and so now first thing we would think is, oh, they just so greedy. One thing I try to tell people is that common people think everything is about money. So most of you viewing are common people. I'm a common person. I'm not no common thinking person, but I'm common as in, you know, I have to work for if I don't move my feet, I don't eat. Okay? I'm not no trust fund baby. Um and we tend to think that everything's about money. It ain't. If you get the DVD box set Fringe, okay? We was watching this 10 years ago, showing you the whole play about everything now. You also want to get Helix. Helix gave the whole play about the medical thing that we dealt with and we'll have a continuation of, you know. But first episode, the head detective is at some type of gathering. She meets this high ranking official and she mentioned something about money. And he was like, oh, my dear, it's not about the money. It's about the results. It's about the results. For us, we think it's about the money. When you control fiat, it's really about human resources, the true essence of the word, not on your job, but we're talking about true human resources, the control over that. And that's why these places like Kroger, who are part, all these grocery chains, they all go and meet. Just like all the football teams, all the owners, they have meetings together and you think that the Washington Commanders owner hates Jerry Jones because we're the Redskins and y'all are the Cowboys. No, I learned this 24 years ago. I got into a little bit of trouble and they take you in that room. You got your lawyer and then the DA is there and they talking and shooting the shit with each other, talking about going to get a drink after the court shuts down. And that opened because I thought that your lawyer hated the prosecutor. I thought they hated each other because, oh, you trying to take my. No, it's all a game. As a young man, that was a rude awakening. I said, this motherfucker is kicking it like they like, and it's just my life is a joke. I'm just a formality. That taught me a lot about the world. I was just a formality. Okay. And so when there is no competition really because what they're doing, everything's been whittled down to two. And they're playing with us with the whole two until eventually it just becomes one. Walmart, Target, you know, Home Depot, Lowe's. Everything gets whittled down to two. Spectrum, AT&T. Everything gets whittled down because it's an oligarchy. And the ultimate goal of that is for power to remain with the few. Now they jostle with each other, but there's levels. Their fight is never supposed to include the commoners. They're fighting for supremacy within their own legion, but that's at another stratosphere. It ain't meant for us to even have a voice in any of that. And that goes for everything, including politics. And the stuff with Kroger ties in with the stuff down at the port, everything. Because if you can have the human unsure about food, unsure about security and safety, all this spiritual enlightenment shit goes out the door. We're gonna hit you down at that base, the animal nature, that root chakra that we always talking about. You're living out of your root chakra. You're low vibrational. All that bullshit we talk until a motherfucker can't eat. Then you be around here trying to run a scam during COVID, selling people shit for $900, some bullshit. Me and my man talking about that, just watching, peeping the game, talk all this righteous shit, then trying to fleece, making sure that you and yours can eat. That's the point of applying pressure, the test. So, I always tell people I live in a neighborhood surrounded by a lot of Asians. Okay. BMWs over here, Lexuses, such and such. Um, they don't kick their children. They don't kick their children. They'd be 4 or 5 people up in, maybe more, in a house. They got the secret sauce. But we have been so conditioned under this mentality we live within that, one, we don't know how to fucking behave. So it's hard to put several family members under the same roof because we don't know how to fucking behave. That's called culture. That's what culture means, behavior. Culture's not wearing all these fucking shirts about your melanin popping and all this other shit we do. It's about, can your ass behave? Do you know how to work as part of a system? I'm living my best life. I'm doing my thing. I'm da da. They just hating on me. Ain't nobody fucking hating on you. Everybody broke. Who hating on you? Your eyelashes just stick out a little bit more. You know, you got a Gucci belt on like an idiot. And this is the stuff that has been marketed to us to think at this level. There's a way to make this work. One, we got to respect knowledge. We got to respect information. And when somebody brings it, we need to rally around not the person, but the fucking information that they're bringing. There needs to be family council meetings. People got to learn how to live under the same roof, which means we got rules. No, you can't sit at the kitchen's table and roll up your blunts. And I got fucking children, motherfucker. No, and you need to take the trash out. We're gonna wash dishes. No, we're not gonna tear. No. Culture, culture. I don't see none of these people. They quiet. They mean as hell. They don't wave. But I don't even care. Fuck being nice with them. I'm studying them like they studied American culture, which is why they've taken over. We got to get on social media and say every fucking, you know, people showing their weight loss journey and their workout journey. I'm like, when the fuck are we gonna see the results? We are fixated on just the attention, no results. The dude said, "Oh my dear, it's not about the money, it's about the results." So the way to respond is you got to develop your own culture. And I ain't talking about no we. I'm talking about in your own house. Develop a culture. And who it's about community. And community is based on the people who vibrate at the level you vibrate, meaning they honor, respect, um, and observe the same or similar things. We ain't got to agree on everything. We ain't got to be robots. We shouldn't be. But we have certain things that we hold high, and that's where we how we come together. That's gonna be that's gonna be the way, the only way. You're gonna have to share information. You're gonna have to, you know, you're gonna have to barter, which means people got to develop something of value so that you are not uh a liability to people. Do you have something of value that you can trade? And I think this eclipse is opening the window to the reality of this. Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful, great energy coming in the time, yes. But even the Bible say that when the Christ was about to be born, Herod put out sentinels looking, kill all of the little male children. And that we know that's a mythology. We know it's a mythology. And that mythology is more relevant now than it was way back whenever. That's talking about now. All this stuff, operations of King Herod, trying to snuff out the light. And that's where we at. Oh, thank you, Shauna, for the super chat. Thank you greatly for your generosity. Uh, I don't know what all y'all got. I know y'all got some. I know y'all dropping. Uh, I know y'all in here dropping. Um, and I want to go back and say to Divine because I can feel people's energy, and I knew that you didn't. That didn't come from a negative place. I just, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. In the words of brother Bobby Hemmett, it's beautiful times. It's beautiful times, no matter what. No matter what, it's beautiful times because what else is there to make of it? Because if you think from this standpoint that that you're here for a reason, shoot, then there's no more obvious um, display of what the reason is than what we are experiencing. You know, we're experiencing the the antagonizing, the resistance, the opposition. But the thing is, we may have kind of been expecting the opposition to look a certain way, and we're not. And now we're coming to the realization that it is multifaceted. It's multifaceted. Some of it is people that you love are, damn, you know. Sometimes it's people that you naturally can see as, you know, a threat, which that's easy. It's always easy to spot the obvious, you know. Um, but a lot of this is very stealth and a lot of it is set up to create the worst enemy there is, which is ourselves. For us to be grabbed up, snatched up by the energies, and these energies of transformation. Um, I got to give a shout out to uh, Golden Timeline here because she also reminded us of the fixed star Algol. I think she said was at 6 of Capricorn right now, which that is applying or it is forming a T square with the nodes. And so all of that's in the mix too. So making sure we don't lose our head because and some things I just have to say in private because I feel something. I felt it. I went to Sam's earlier and I had this epiphany. And the energy is so heavy. And you can see it on people. And those who got eyes may can see it on me. Um, because it's just we're all feeling, but if you don't have any measure of recourse to offset that and to pull your energy back up, that's the key. I always use this, refer back to this. My high school coach, I talked about how I lost respect for him, but you can learn something from everybody. He used to tell us, guys, I'm not worried about you all getting tired. What I'm more concerned about is how long it takes you to recover. Keep that in mind. Don't think that because you have this degree of awareness that you're never supposed to be down. That's a lie. That's a lie. And you'll be lying to yourself, okay? And anyone who tells you that they're never down, they're lying, okay? They're lying because the key is all great athletes get tired. You ain't never heard not one athlete say, "Oh, I never get tired." No, the mark of the great athlete is how they respond to fatigue and how they train to have greater endurance so that when the other athletes are starting to tire out, they still going. That's how Kobe drops 81. That's how Jordan wins game 6 with the flu. It is the endurance, the training, and the ability to respond to um adverse situations. So do not feel like you are backtracking in your journey because you have moments where you're down, where you're doubtful, where you feel depressed, where you feel lost. That's all a part of the shit. What we got to be concerned with is how long you stay in this state and how frequent and how easy you can be pushed into that state. After a while, you're supposed to have mechanisms to respond when you feel that energy coming on, how to grab yourself and not be grabbed. That's what we're calling maturity. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up. I send peace, balance, wholeness, light, endurance, patience, understanding, evolution, revolution, and revelation to you all. As always, know the stars to know yourself. Quick little commercial. I now offer pre-recorded readings on my site. I now offer phone coaching. And these are options that I created to make uh, my services more affordable for those who are more cost sensitive. Um, my services are of high value. I have multiple skills and degrees of mastery to offer in a variety of areas. You know, they used to say jack of all trade, but master of none, but they don't tell you the rest of it. That a master of none is usually better than the master of one. So I know I have a lot to share about a lot of things. Okay. So if you want to take advantage of coaching, I have a less cost intensive way for you to go about that. If you need some astrological guidance, I have a less cost intensive way to receive that. And those are available now. Another thing, I have a webinar coming up on November 10th, 2024. That's a Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to be talking about this more and more as we lead up. I'll be giving a webinar November 10th, 2024 at 3 p.m. Central Time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you are a member of 720 Sacred Teachings, then you attend the webinar for free. Membership has its privileges. But for everyone else, it is very affordable. It's $29.99. I'm not trying to bust your head. It's going to be 2.5 hours, maybe a little more. And I'm going to be talking some high level, esoteric, metaphysical, practical information. And we're going to talk about the occult nature of the almond, the mystical nature of the almond. And we're going to show how that almond is giving you secrets about everything. So that's coming up. I got the page is already up. It's for you. You can go. I'll put it in the description when I get a chance to come back. Um, um, on what you call them, and on the video when I come back, and I'll put a thumbnail up, and I'll put in the description the URL where you can get to that. And yeah, so a lot of things coming down the pipeline. I appreciate you all for your positive energy, and send love and light. Know the stars to know yourself. 720astrology.com. Peace.